As we journey back to the early Middle Ages, the birth of castle construction in Italy unfolds. Imagine Italy during the 6th century, an era of immense change and innovation. The foundations of what we now know as castle construction were just being laid. This was a time when the Byzantines and Lombards held sway, their influence seeping into every aspect of Italian life, including fortification design. It was the Byzantines, with their advanced knowledge of architecture and engineering, who introduced the concept of fortifications to Italy. These early fortresses were primarily wooden, designed primarily for defense rather than grandeur. They were often strategically positioned atop hills, providing a vantage point for spotting potential threats. On the other hand, the Lombards, a Germanic people who ruled over Italy, brought their own distinct touch to these early fortifications. Their structures were also mainly wooden, but with a key difference. They incorporated elements of their own military architecture, such as the use of palisades and earthworks, adding an extra layer of defense. These early wooden structures, though rudimentary compared to later stone castles, played a crucial role in the development of Italian castle design. They were the stepping stones, the initial blueprints that would shape the evolution of castle construction in Italy. The fascinating aspect of these early castles is how they mirrored the societies that built them. They were a testament to their time, reflecting the military technology, societal structure, and even the fears and aspirations of the people. They were more than just buildings. They were living, breathing symbols of their age. But as with all things, change was inevitable. As Italy entered the Middle Ages, the wooden fortifications of the Byzantines and Lombards began to give way to more durable and imposing stone castles. This transition marked the next significant phase in the evolution of Italian castle construction, a phase that would see Italian castles reach new heights of architectural sophistication and grandeur. From these humble wooden beginnings, Italian castle construction was set to evolve dramatically. As we move into the 10th century, stone becomes the material of choice for Italian castle construction. This change in material choice was not arbitrary, but a calculated move sparked by the influence of the Normans, who had made their way south from their Viking roots in the north. The Normans brought with them a revolution in castle design, introducing Italy to the motte and bailey design. This design, which was a combination of an elevated mound known as the motte, topped with a wooden or stone keep and a lower courtyard or bailey, was surrounded by a protective ditch and palisade. This design was not only innovative but also highly strategic, offering an elevated viewpoint for spotting approaching enemies and an enclosed space for protection. One of the most significant examples of this design is the Aversa Castle. This stone castle, still standing today, is a testament to the Normans' innovative design and the durability of stone as a construction material. The Aversa Castle, like many of its contemporaries, was built not just as a residence for the nobility, but as a strategic stronghold, from which the Normans could control their newly acquired territories. The use of stone as a construction material transformed castle construction in Italy. Prior to this, castles were often temporary fortifications built quickly for immediate defense and then abandoned or destroyed. With stone, however, castles became long-term strategic strongholds capable of withstanding sieges and the test of time. These stone castles were not just military installations but symbols of power and authority, visible reminders of the Normans' power. The Normans' influence on castle construction in Italy did not stop at their design or choice of material. They introduced new construction techniques, such as the use of lime mortar and the ribbed vault, which allowed for stronger and more durable structures. These techniques, along with the use of stone, set the stage for the golden age of castle construction in Italy. The Normans had laid the groundwork for the golden age of castle construction in Italy. The Renaissance period in Italy brought about a transformation in castle design that reflected the era's artistic and cultural bloom. During the Middle Ages, castles were primarily defensive structures, built to withstand sieges and invasions. But as the Renaissance period unfolded, the focus shifted from defense to opulence. The once grim and foreboding fortresses transformed into grand residences, epitomizing luxury and architectural prowess. A prime example of this shift is the Castello Sforzesco in Milan. Originally a fortress, it was transformed into a ducal residence in the 15th century. The castle, with its ornate rooms and courtyards, became a symbol of the Sforza family's power and wealth. The intricate frescoes, grand archways, and detailed sculptures are a testament to the artistic brilliance of the Renaissance era. Similarly, the Castel Sant'Angelo in Rome, originally built as a mausoleum, served various purposes over the centuries, including a fortress and a prison. However, during the Renaissance, it was converted into a luxurious papal residence, showcasing the period's rich architectural aesthetics. But the Renaissance wasn't just about grandeur and luxury, it was also a period of great innovation. Renowned artists and architects like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci left their mark on castle design during this time. Michelangelo, for instance, was instrumental in the design of the new fortifications for the Belvedere courtyard in the Vatican, blending practicality with elegance. Da Vinci, on the other hand, is known for his sketches of star-shaped fortresses, a design intended to better resist cannon fire. While his designs were never brought to life during his time, they did influence later military architecture, proving that the Renaissance was not just about aesthetics, but also about advancing technology and functionality. In essence, the Renaissance period was a time of transformation. It was an era when castles shed their somber, warlike facades and blossomed into luxurious residences, reflecting Italy's cultural and artistic renaissance. The Renaissance period left an indelible mark on Italian castle design, transforming them into architectural masterpieces. As we move into the modern era, the focus shifts from construction to preservation of these historical structures. The story of Italian castles doesn't end with the Renaissance. Their narrative continues not through the addition of new towers or fortifications, but through the careful preservation and restoration of these architectural wonders. In this era, the caretakers of these castles aren't monarchs or knights, but organizations dedicated to safeguarding Italy's cultural heritage. One such organization is the Italian Heritage Trust, known as Fondo Ambiente Italiano. They work tirelessly to ensure that these historical structures are not lost to time. Their efforts encompass a range of activities, from basic maintenance to full-scale restoration projects. They strive to preserve not just the physical structures, but also the rich tapestry of history that they represent. But it's not just about preserving bricks and mortar. These castles are living history, each one a page in the book of Italy's past. They are a tangible link to the generations that came before us, from the Normans and the Lombards to the great Renaissance artists and thinkers. Today, these castles are not just monuments to the past, but vibrant parts of Italy's present. They are major tourist attractions, drawing millions of visitors every year. People from all corners of the globe come to marvel at their architectural beauty, to walk their ancient corridors, and to imagine the countless stories they could tell. These visitors contribute significantly to Italy's economy, making the preservation of these castles not just a cultural imperative, but an economic one as well. Moreover, many of these castles have found new life in the modern era. They serve as venues for events, from music festivals to weddings, further embedding them in Italy's contemporary cultural fabric. While no new castles may be rising, the old ones still stand tall, telling tales of Italy's rich historical past. They remind us that history is not just something to be read in books, but something to be lived, to be touched, to be seen. And thanks to the efforts of countless preservationists, these castles will continue to tell their stories for generations to come. From early wooden fortifications to stone strongholds, and then to luxurious residences, Italian castles have evolved dramatically. This journey through time tells a story of innovation, resilience, and grandeur, mirrored in the ever-changing face of these majestic buildings. In the dawn of castle construction, we saw humble beginnings with wooden fortifications. These structures, though not as enduring or imposing as their stone successors, marked the first steps in a journey that would span centuries, reflecting the needs and aspirations of the people who built them. The influence of the Normans brought a seismic shift in castle construction. The introduction of stone castles not only transformed the landscape, but also the strategies of warfare. These robust structures were built to withstand sieges, their formidable presence symbolizing power and dominance. This period highlighted the role of castles as both defensive structures and statements of authority. The Renaissance heralded a new era in castle design. The emphasis shifted from defense to luxury and aesthetics. Castles became symbols of wealth and status, their design reflecting the artistic and intellectual awakening of the period. Architectural innovation was at its peak, with the incorporation of elements like courtyards and intricate frescoes. The transformation of these fortresses into luxurious residences marked a significant evolution in their purpose and design. In the modern era, the focus shifted to the preservation of these historic structures. These castles, once bastions of power and symbols of status, now serve as tangible links to our past. Their preservation allows us to step back in time, to appreciate the architectural ingenuity and historical significance these buildings hold. As we close this chapter on Italian castle construction, we are reminded of the rich layers of history that these magnificent structures represent. They are a testament to the changing times, the evolution of architectural design, and the shifting notions of power and prestige. Each castle, with its unique design and history, tells a story of the people who built it, the period they lived in, and the legacy they left behind.